zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper. Vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Wonderful Friday afternoon to you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer. As you know, solo today. Terry Fenelon is unavailable to us on Fridays. Wish him the best, whatever it is he's engaged in. But I do have with me in the studio our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. And I do have you to keep us company for this program, which airs weekdays 12:30 to 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM 91.3 for the North and 91.5 for the South. We simulcast on our sister television station MBC. That's available to you on channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and we are on YouTube live streaming as well. I hope you're having a good day. It is the 26th day of the month of September. And Jaquan gives me, a thumbs up, a big up, because he knows how I struggle sometimes with the date. Not today. It's the 26th. It's the 26th day of the month of September, 2025. And of course, folks, we're still in the hurricane season. Some things that may appear weird are not so weird when we consider, what drives the tropical weather is temperatures on the sea surface, higher temperatures, which cause not just the evaporation of water, which is upward movement, but the movement of heat from low to high, traveling through the atmosphere. That also influences pressure. That also influences the movement of air. And a whole lot of interplay of forces that create various weather phenomena. And yesterday we saw one, not very common, but not unheard of in our parts. I think we saw what is known as a water spout and its associated funnel cloud. And staying over the water, I wonder what would have happened. Not that I really want to find out with actual experience. If it had come on land, would that be what a tornado is made of, or is it how it starts or whatever? But of course, the sort of things which come along from time to time and fascinate us, we must always be grateful and give thanks that they are in their effects not worse than this one turned out to be. But we can expect that with what the scientists are telling us, and we are seeing evidence of it before our eyes more and more. Never mind, they are still deniers, climate change deniers, that we are seeing that, the weather patterns are just not the same as they used to be before. We see some funny things happening, and not that they're entirely unheard of, but they're becoming more frequent. The severity of the hurricanes, the time span that they occupy, it won't surprise me if one of these days we wake up and find that the scientists have decided to recalibrate the hurricane season, that whereas it's from the beginning of June to the end of November, that they will find that the hurricanes are beginning earlier. And so they may say, hey, we got to start this thing from May the 15th until December, let's just not forget the Christmas Eve trough that we had with such severity in St. Lucia that did so much damage in our country. For us to have that kind of tropical weather system at this time of the year, and I think we've had hurricanes beginning to form. If I recall, many years ago, it was Hurricane Allison was the name, that actually formed a little before June the 1st, or exactly on the 1st that it came out. So, people, we don't go keep our eyes and our ears peeled all the time, and don't take for granted the warnings and the alerts and the watches and the bulletins that are being issued. Don't discard them as being magie, as we used to do in times past. You toujours got this, you toujours got the hurricane Kavini, this hurricane Pavini. Well, I think it was a date, wasn't it, in August? Around this time of the year in 1980, that we were hit by something that many of us alive at the time, or conscious at the time, of what we call our generation, had never experienced, called Hurricane Allen. And it was the year before that Dominica had gotten quite a smack from Hurricane David. And since then, I think we've learned to be a little more observant, a little more, regarding of the hurricane season and the, Tropical Storm Debbie in 1994, Hurricane Thomas in 2010, Christmas Eve trough in 2013, and on it goes. We've been getting, those blows for them. Hurricane Beryl, last year, was it a tropical storm when it hit us? Beryl the Peril. And now we're all too familiar with it. But so much for that. Those people who try to make... those people who try to make some kind of distorted narrative of everything that happens in our country, that it's a conspiracy, that it's some kind of political complot, that it's a cover-up, that it's a this. I find the gentleman who's leader of the opposition, he seems to have a particular obsession in that regard. He's always looking for a lie. He's always looking for somebody told a lie. Philip J. Pierre is lying to you. Philip J. Pierre is fooling you. Who does Philip J. Pierre think is fooling? Is continue. And I often wonder, okay, yes, people lie. Politicians lie. Lawyers, it is said, lie. All kinds of people lie. The people who hold responsibility for our public affairs, our public administration, our national governance, we want them to be as straight up and as truthful with us as they can be. Although, in matters of national security and where something else is at stake, you can't expect the police to be up and up truthful with you in terms of telling you everything they know, especially when they're trying to catch somebody and they have to play the deception game and the decoy game. But that's another matter. But oftentimes I wonder with Mr. Alan Chasney, that seems to be one of the major planks. Either the government is going to cost us our visas and we'll lose our visa-free access, or we'll lose our visas to the United States and Canada. It's always something like that. Or that the government is lying to you and they're trying to fool you. And I often wonder, let us say that he has some basis for alleging that Prime Minister Pierre and his government, they're lying and they're trying to fool you about the Bannon lands that Mr. Chasney made so much about. so much about this thing at between Bannon and Tappy, or a piece of land that Strasper was not interested in, that the government, made it sound like it's Richard Frederick in a dip in my pocket transaction, where he received the money. He sold the land to a woman who was a non-entity because she was Reno Gajada's daughter, I suppose. And he sold it for less than what it was valued at. The land was valued, and he sold it for what? $800,000 less, or whatever it was, and so on. And he went on. And I kept on saying to myself, the things that Mr. Shastri alleges that lies are being told. Let us assume, and I'm not conceding here that any lies were told, but let us assume that lies were told for the sake of argument. You have to ask yourself, what turns on it? What turns on it? Philip J. Pierre comes out and he tells you, I was at the barber yesterday and I had a haircut and his hair looks like, it hasn't been groomed for 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever. Is that something that you go making a whole lot of hullabaloo and making a whole hay and a whole story about, that the Prime Minister, he lied to you? He lied to you, told you he was at the barber. Let's look at his hair. He makes no, are they not things that we consider to be things of consequence? Are they not things that we consider to be things on which, something turns? There is something at stake. There are implications to that thing, that you're going to go and make a whole story about he lied to you, he didn't go to no barber, or this kind of thing? Or are you going to tell me, if the Prime Minister said that from this month, money is going to be paid to, they'll see it in their salary and nobody sees it in their salary. Well, the Prime Minister put people in expectation of funds that never came through. People may have budgeted, may have planned, may have made, arrangements, whether for travel, whether to take their family out to rainforest sky rides or whatever it is called, and so on. This is something you make something of, but not inconsequential things on which nothing turns. Like Shastri is always looking for something to claim that there was a lie. Where am I going with all of this? Look at all this thing about that police canine dog, well, not canine. If it's a dog, it has to be a canine anyway. That police canine officer, Tyson. All the story that the people tried to manufacture, that it was some criminal people, and always, who they're pointing at when they're talking about criminals in the government and in the cabinet, who eliminated Tyson because Tyson was a threat to them, and Tyson was a dog that was going to bust their criminal network and the criminal operations and so on. And look at that, a post, how they call it, a necropsy. Do they actually call dogs post-mortem? I thought it was necropsy that they call. I don't know, it may be the same thing, but whatever it was that they do post-mortem on the dog, the person who did it said it could be this. There's a high probability, but they never definitively said that it was poison. They never definitively said that it was massive internal bleeding. They never said any of those things. They said it could be this. There's a high probability that it's rat poison. There's another probability that it could be massive internal bleeding. There's another probability that it could be whatever it was. They gave the probability. And you know why they did that? Because in the absence of further tests, in the absence of the toxicology, where you can take the blood and the body fluids and body tissues and samples of the animal and examine them and run them through tests so that you can know whether it was poison that was in its system, whether it's a blow the animal took. Because animals like that, what they do in terms of the policing assistance that they provide, it's always possible for an animal to take a blow. It's always possible it slammed itself into something. It's always possible that it was taking down some criminal who managed to let fly, a blow with a stick or a stone or his foot to give it a good kick somewhere. A dog is not an animal that will come and complain to you and say, I'm in a lot of pain. How can it do that? A dog is not an animal that will come and tell you, I'm really hurting right now and I'm feeling like you'll see it's not acting itself. But most times animals take their blows and they take their suffering and so on, and they go through their little period, and eventually they either recover or they continue to deteriorate and they go down and so on. Now toxicology, from what we are hearing, is saying that there's no indication that the animal had poison, rat poison, especially in its system. There were different causes that were given that will continue to be investigated. But at least the poison one seems like now it's all but ruled out. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to come back again with another story. It's a cover-up. So many different police officers involved. The commissioner, the deputy commissioner, what's his name? Mr. De Freitas, Mr. Shalry, all of them there and so on. Who knows whether those men, whether they like each other? Who knows whether they don't see each other as obstacles in their path to whatever their ambitions are, whether it is to become commissioner or whatever, and they would gladly take down another one of those perceived rivals. I'm not saying that's a state of play, but you can bet another story will start. That is a cover-up, that they paid this one to cover up. They promise him that they'll make him commissioner. It's a story that never ends. Another story that's coming out of the police. That's not the first time we're hearing it. That all these allegations that were made against a senior police officer, and I can name him because the matter never went to court, so it was never docketed in the system as a sexual offense, where you're not supposed to name a perpetrator, an alleged perpetrator, until and unless they are convicted or whatever. But my goodness, those people really went to work on Deputy Commissioner Ronald Phillip, They really went to work on the man. And you know what I'm talking about? The they includes officers, a very conspicuous, a very outspoken, a very loquacious one, actually holding press conference on talk show, talking about the man with regard, to certain allegations of sexual harassment or whatever that were made against him, to sully and tarnish the man on the basis of nothing. And DPP has examined this thing. Commissioner saying himself, when he saw the file, when he saw the report, he said to himself, there is no way this thing can go anywhere. There is no way this thing can go anywhere. And if anything, in the course of what we suspect, a police commissioner, maybe somebody who might feel a little, about a deputy who might be ambitious, who might want to come and supplant you and usurp you and overthrow you. This police commissioner, a man who has been a man of integrity, nobody has been able to point at Vanguard and suggest anything about him when it comes to crookedness. This man is a man who is as straight as you give me the analogy, please. This is a man who has been, and he says from the moment he saw this thing, he said, look, this doesn't look like something which is actionable. This doesn't look like something which can hold up to scrutiny, even in a preliminary inquiry, much less in a trial in court or anything like that. And now we are being told that he actually passed this over to the DPP. They had discussions that the DPP has agreed that this thing is dead on arrival. It's not going anywhere. None of those things, can hold up in court, can hold up to scrutiny, can hold up to cross-examination. None of them have a chance, of succeeding even the earliest stages of prosecution. In other words, there was never any substance to them. But, Police Welfare Association, which is headed by who? A constable, a man way junior to Ronald Phillip and son. They were this place and that place, parading and making accusations and pointing fingers and drawing all kind of associated innuendo and insinuations about him being the Prime Minister's godson, something which turned out to be totally debunked. And on and on and on they went to town and came down on the man like a ton of bricks all over. I know I can talk now because it is not a sexual offense. It is not locked there. It is not, it has never moved forward. But you know what? They'll start another story. They'll start a story about a cover-up and his protect and his Philip J. Pierre that intervened and that came and that told them to stop that and don't do anything. But good thing the DPP is who the DPP is. Good thing the DPP is who the DPP is in terms of his appointment, when he was appointed, the controversy surrounding his appointment, who found it to be controversial, who was disputing it, who was, in many ways saying, look, this doesn't look right, whatever. We are happy. We can be happy that the DPP now is Mr. Dasserian Green, who can't be doing things because he's afraid for his position. DPP is a very untouchable person, Removing a DPP is not an easy thing. I told you about the permanent secretary. The same way it is with electoral commissioners and how you call them, public service commissioners and so on. You can't just go and fire those people, There has to be a process where it has to be referred to the Governor General, who then can decide whether he's going to appoint a tribunal. It's spelled out in the Constitution. So don't come and talk about Dassery and Green saying that he don't see any hope of success in that whatever file or report they presented on Ronald Phillip and so. Don't say that. That's Dassery and Green. A man well insulated, protected, independent, virtually untouchable under the Constitution. It's a long, drawn-out, complicated process. So when you start your story good. You know? So on this police dog thing, the canine officer, and on this deputy commissioner story that y'all were trying to build up, and because y'all thought y'all could use the deputy commissioner as a millstone, as a noose around the neck of the prime minister, it looks like, you know, y'all get blows and egg on your face. So let's see what next story y'all will spin, you know, because nowadays is all kinds of things. Someone in some private financial transaction with a bank, you know, for a loan, you know, to go and study. Now you have to take that and to be leaking documents about it, you know. Private thing about who guarantee and co-sign for you, have to try to make that a big lie there, you know, on social media. But, you know, and that happened before the person entered into the public, you know, into the public limelight and so on. But go ahead. Anyway, I said yesterday to Terry, we had a conversation where I said, look, we have to be very careful. And he agreed with me. That we are not giving oxygen to those kinds of things and at the same time suppressing what the government is doing and is achieving. And one person I have the utmost respect for is a communications officer who has been my co-worker in the past, but he's now the communications officer for the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, John Emmanuel. And once he sends me something, usually, you know, I have absolutely no hesitation. I have absolutely no tentativeness about playing it. And I'm going to play this clip from John Emmanuel. So since the time you're supposed to have the thing, now you're telling me you don't have it. Okay, Jaquan isn't quite ready. So you mean it took you 24 hours to find that out? Wow. Anyway, he's telling me that he's having some problem with the file. I don't know where that is. All right, tell you what, I'm going to send you something. I don't know how long it will take you to load that one, but this one has to do with, you know, all these kinds of AI, you know, interference that they can do. Or maybe we should take an unscheduled break. Let's take a break and see if we can get this resolved, and then we'll come back and continue from there.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the real issues. Powered by Blue Waters, and Jaquan has indicated that he's gotten that video clip. It's a few minutes long, folks, but I think we want to give them the time. It's not always about the politics, but it's sometimes, many times, about the achievements and the things that are being implemented. Go ahead.
My name is Valin Isidore, Welfare Officer for Grizzly. Every day we encounter people with different needs and circumstances. Not everybody has access to the same resources and opportunities. As a result, organizations and agencies have been established to provide support for those in need. This year, the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment joins the international community in celebrating International Day of Charity on September 5th. Through this video, we aim to highlight and raise awareness of some of the charity organizations within the Grizzly region.
Venus Cherry, a president of Rise St. Lucia, also member of Seaview Rastas and a Mission of Caring, which is two separate organizations that collaborate together. So basically, a few years ago, Seaview Rastas and a Mission of Caring recognized the need to assist the people of Grizzly, the less fortunate parents. So we came together and brainstormed and came up with the book drive. The idea of the book drive is to ask parents to donate the books that their kids are no longer using to us, which we put out, and I encourage people to come with their booklets, and if the books are available, they take it free of charge. So you're giving out what you don't need and you're taking what you need. Basically, it's kind of like an exchange program. But sometimes when you drop what you need, you don't get any. But we've taken it a bit further in that we provide school bags and school supplies to parents. So usually a parent can get 1 or 2, sometimes even 3 school bags full with supplies: notebooks, pens, pencils, erasers, sharpener, rulers, geometry sets, pencil cases, and so forth. In the beginning, this was supposed to be an initiative for the District of Grizzly, which we are from, our way of giving back, but this grew and it's talked about island-wide, and so you have people coming from Vieux Fort, Soufrière, Canries, Ancillary, Dennery, all over the island to receive this assistance, and so we've opened it up to everyone. So we no longer just cater to Grizzly, we cater to the island of St. Lucia. Wherever we can assist with school supplies, we do so. Sometimes we were able to do, our donors provide uniforms, and so we distribute those. Sometimes we are lucky and we get school shoes, and we distribute those as well. So the book drive has been going on for the past 4.5 years now. Very strong. Every year the numbers goes up. So far this year, we've given out over 600 school bags with supplies. And guys, I must tell you that school bags are not cheap, no other supplies. So it's amazing, and we're very grateful that we're able to raise the kind of funds that is necessary to allow us to give out this volume of supplies to the public. I love this program because it shows the power of giving. Most times you find that the little person who is struggling themselves give more than the corporation. And you guys won't believe it, but most times you find the little person finds a way to give a lot more than some organizations do. Most organizations tell you about budgetary constraints and so forth, and they can't assist. But we do understand that education is linked to crime and poverty. The more educated a nation is, the most likely you have them doing violent crimes and other stuff. They might do white-collar crimes, but gun violence and drugs and ammunition and that stuff is less likely if we have a more educated population, which would make them more qualified for more suitable jobs, which means more finance. They're more capable of taking care of themselves, so they may not have to resort to crime and violence. Not saying that it's only and I'm not saying that educated people don't commit crime and violence. I'm just showing a correlation. So this is why we try to do this. We also have the peanut butter pantry going on for quite a month at the same time. So not only are we providing them with some school supplies and textbooks, but we try to provide them a meal as well. So we provide rice, flour, sugar, cereal, salt, oil, peanut butter, anything you can think of that can go in a grocery bag. And also we try to provide some personal hygiene stuff to go with it, and that again is also open to the entire island. And so I'm really grateful to have a set of young men that I grew up with, Seaview brothers, that we all grew up playing dominoes, fighting, swimming in the sea, cooking with each other, and then to come together and to be able to do this. And for me, what's most important is 98% of us are Rastas, with our long dreadlocks, and who smokes and who drinks, and most times people tend to try to associate that with criminality and negativity, but we are shedding a different light to show that it does not matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter your religious belief, it doesn't matter how long your hair is. If you truly want to do good, you can accomplish great things, and you can be a motivator, and you can be an inspiration to any and every community throughout the island countries that you're from. Oh, I love this. This is my life. And I grew up and survived from volunteerism, from people volunteering and giving. My mom was extremely poor. We grew up extremely poor, and so sometimes a meal came from a neighbor. Sometimes, my mom did odd jobs for people. They gave us clothes, they gave us used shoes, they gave us broken toys. And so I grew up on that, so I understand all too well the power of it, which is what drives me. Regardless of what negative criticism can come from what we're doing, because you will always have naysayers. I just remember who I am, where I came from, and how I became who I am today. And it's from people being kind and generous to my family.
My name is Mary Sidran, a member of the Gruel and Soup Kitchen. Started a little more than 30 years ago. We started from the press retreat. We used to use the press stove to cook our food for the people. It was for the most unfortunate, the poor, those who needed a meal. We started, we had Caritas, and the people would come and spend a whole day there. So Father Goodman decided they are there from morning, so they should have a little hot meal. It started that way, and then about maybe a good 5 or 6 years after, the Lions Club took over. They built that little shed there, and they named it the Lions Club Soup Kitchen.
My name is Bernadette Springer, and I am a volunteer at the Soup Kitchen, which is run by the parish of St. Joseph the Worker in collaboration with the Lions Club. It's a joy to come here every Thursday to, share meals with persons who are in need, basically. And we normally, on average, we feed about 70 people, and people just walk off the streets and they come and we share a hot meal with them. And so it's this soup kitchen has been around for a very long time, and the volunteers who were there, most of them have grown, they are elderly, some of them have passed. We have gotten assistance from the ministry. There's business houses that are helping us in providing these meals. But generally, the church is the one who sponsors these Thursday meals. You know, we get the funding from the church to buy all of what we need for the meals. We are grateful for all the assistance that we get, and we encourage people to come and help us, because it's costly to feed all of these people, and we really want to provide that service because it's a service that is needed. So we encourage people to come and help and make a contribution. It's really a joy. I think it's really what the Lord has asked us to do, to feed, to help, to feed those who are in need, to help those who are in need. So this is basically what this ministry of the church is all about. There are people who would have had only this meal for the day, this hot meal for the day. So it's really a charitable service that we are providing. There are people who are in need, and they have no means of getting a meal for the day, and that is probably the only hot meal for the day. So it's really a joy. It's really a service that we're providing, and as a member of the church community, we are pleased to be able to do that, and we're encouraging people, other people, individuals, businesses to help wherever they can. Maybe not. So, with the soup kitchen, we would welcome it, but there are other areas that they can help.
My name is Stella Fully Daniel of Blue Butterfly Sanctuary. It is a place of help for girls and women, and basically then to the entire household. What I do, I provide help in the care in the way of clothing, household items for families that are in need, especially those that are too shy or afraid to go seek for help. So I have like new items, used items. I also provide a place of comfort, a place where we could actually come and have a talk, more like not counseling, but just speak about the problems. And so we have a ladies talk, we have a girls talk, and for the teenagers coming from the girl in before the adults, we have the pillow talk. So we not only help, but we encourage the girls and women, just encouraging them and helping in whatever way that we can. Charity is it should be a way of life to those that have to help others, because there are a lot of people that really need the help. And if we look in our homes, there are so many things that we have and we don't need. And I would just advise, or just help. Whatever you feel the need, whatever God sets on your heart to help someone, just help, because it is really needed. Even sometimes you see somebody and you'll say to yourself, this person doesn't really need this. But I'm telling you, a lot of those that we think don't need it, they do. I would like to encourage each one of you out there to help somebody. Right? It could be in your community, a child in the school, somebody you pass through, somebody you work with. Just today, just make it a day that you say, you know what, I'm going to start being charitable and helpful to somebody.
Owena DJ, President and founder of the Calum DJ Foundation. The Calum DJ Foundation is a foundation that creates awareness around pregnancy and infant loss in St. Lucia. Our mission is to empower parents with a voice where they find a safe space to express their grief during pregnancy and infant loss. Our goal is to provide financial and counseling support to parents who have endured such a loss in St. Lucia. The Calum DJ Foundation is a charitable organization, and we encourage everyone to give back in whatever way possible, not only to our foundation, but to other foundations in general around St. Lucia.
Welcome to Grow Well Inc., a 30-year-old voluntary organization right here in the community of Grosley. Our main focus is the underserved persons in our community, mainly the children, in terms of youth development and empowerment through our after-school programs. I, Daniel Joseph Morrill, PRO of this wonderful organization, would like to challenge you right now with this call to action to be your brother's keeper. We are trying to resuscitate the spirit of giving and volunteerism in our community of Grosley. You can assist with in-cash or in-kind donations. And when I say in-kind, right now we have 2 after-school programs, the remedial reading program and the Girls Circle, in dire need of volunteers. So you can come and volunteer for 1 day or 2 days in the week to support the youth in these programs. You don't have the time? Well, when we have fundraising events, you can come out and support either our flea markets or our book sales or whichever fundraiser that we are hosting. Please follow our pages on Facebook or Instagram, Grow Well Inc., to be updated. And if you are in the area, we're right opposite the Catholic Church, you can come in and sign up to be a volunteer.
Hi, my name is David Moise, community activist in the town of Grosley. Today we celebrate giving, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the numerous organizations that have worked with us over the years in bringing comfort and pride to our people who need it most. As we celebrate giving, I would like to thank every individual, organization and business that has gotten involved in giving. Every act of kindness is contagious and has the ability to transform lives. I encourage everyone to get involved and to continue to show love, compassion to those most in need. Thank you very much.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters is on. We thought it worth our while to play what you have just seen there about charitable works that are being undertaken, and the government is not trying to go it alone. It is working hand in glove with charitable organizations, NGOs, etc. Great work coordinated by the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, and with the various partners that we have seen highlighted, in this video. There's another one that I want to play. Don't know if Jaquan has it yet. And I think this one is sounding a cautionary note to us about, how AI can be used to deceive people, to really make you, it's kind of like playing with our mind to let us believe that things are being said which are not being said at all, to manipulate and distort things. It's more than I can even give a good introduction to it. But Jaquan, do you have this one lined up? It has a picture of a few people in yellow. Yes, that's it right there. Let's see if we can play this one, so at least people can have a bit of the caution of the of the kind of mind bending that is being attempted. Go ahead with it. Him a bit of bother. So I hate when I open the phone lines for me to go back and close them again when people have started to call. So I don't like to do that. Let me just say that I got a tip this morning that, remember that company down in Viewfort called Environmental Solutions Inc., that last year the workers, I think almost 30 of them, were made redundant and they were not given the payments that were due to them, the terminal payments when you were let go. when you were terminated, when you were, whatever it is called, but they were made redundant, and there was no indication of when they could get their money. They went to the Labor Department, which ruled in their favor, I think, but nothing has happened since then for them. Well, I think this morning they've been called to a meeting that will involve the Minister of Labor, the Labor Commissioner, their union, which I believe is the National Workers Union, themselves, or whether represented, whether all of them will be there or they'll be represented by their shop stewards, etc. But they're having a meeting, I believe, at the Labor Department today. Don't know how far it has gotten. My understanding is that it was due to begin on at about 10 o'clock this morning. So I'm not sure where it is. I'll try to get them when next we take a break. But let's go on with this warning that has been put out for us, about the use of AI and other tricks to really manipulate us and to confuse us, particularly as another election approaches. Go ahead.
Recently, the United Workers' Party, led by Alan Chesternet, has been getting waves of support on Facebook. At first glance, it looks like organic popularity, but after digging a little deeper, something strange starts to appear. Many of these accounts were created just days ago. Some have no profile pictures, no followers, no posts. And several appear to be linked to Vietnam, with Vietnamese names and even locations. Why are foreign accounts filling St. Lucian political pages with positive comments and likes? It's easy money. They're bought. And here's the thing. According to data gathered online, these tactics can cost millions. For example, in Latin America, a disinformation outfit called Team Jorge asked for nearly 6 million euros to interfere in elections. In Europe, Russian-linked bot farms were exposed, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every month to manipulate public opinion. These aren't small-time tricks. They're industrial-scale operations. In politics, perception is power. Boosting likes and comments can create false momentum. Undecided voters might think, wow, everyone supports them. But often that support isn't real. That's the danger. When a party buys fake supporters, it isn't just boosting numbers. It's shaping opinions and convincing real voters to trust them. This can sway votes, creating a false sense of popularity. In a very real sense, when they buy supporters, they're buying votes. This is more than a social media scheme. It's a threat at our democracy. So the questions we should all be asking are, who financed this activity? Who is delivering these bots? And what connections exist between UWP's allies and extremist movements abroad?
All right. Think carefully on those things, people. Think very carefully on them. Because nowadays we see the manipulation starting. Things are being cut. A piece that was here is being placed over there. And they're being edited and they're being cropped, and crowd sizes, attempts to manipulate. This may be just the dress rehearsals for worse things that are yet to come. Worse things that are to come. And we have to keep our heads on our shoulders. We have to keep our heads focused. We have to make sure that we have our wits about us, because there are people who are determined to play with our heads. The other video clip, I don't know if Jaquan has it. It is about Reno Gajada, the man who owns the construction company, Construction and Industrial Equipment, Reno's Construction, that has been tasked with completing St. Jude Hospital, explaining about the delays in St. Jude Hospital and all the things. Some people who are experts and engineers in everything, they know about buildings, they know about the height of those bits upon their own arm span, and they know about demolishing buildings because that west wing needs to be condemned and build a new east wing, or whatever it was they were saying as their justifications. And out of nowhere a box appears that was never a factor, never in the plans, never under consideration. It just issued at a humongous cost for just cladding. No interior or side walls, as we call them, nothing of that kind. The money that we took to go under this expensive adventure, on somebody's brainstorm, could have finished the hospital. But now, let us hear what the man himself, Reno Gajada, has to say.
Hordes of paperwork, governments insistent on acquiring new equipment, and the lack of details required for hospital necessities are a few hurdles Managing Director of Reno Group of Companies, Reno Gajada, and his crew were met with, which hindered the earlier completion of the St. Jude Hospital. Gajada affirmed that had this not been the case, the St. Jude Hospital could have been completed and ready to hand over since June.
When you have consultants on the job, they need to basically cover themselves. All approvals needs to be written. Everything that we do, it needs to be signed off. And because of the speed that we were moving, we actually did not have enough time to put everything in. So sometimes we had to stop to make up time for us to get it in. So that was a little hold up. Had it not been for doing all of that, the hospital would have been given up in June.
As it pertains to the medical equipment, he stated,
the medical equipment, where it is that we had an original list of medical equipment prior to starting the job. In December, we got a new list of medical equipment which we had to make major changes to, and because the order came in late, the delivery came in late.
Admittedly, no one could have foreseen just how fast-paced Gajada and his team would have constructed and be on track to completion ahead of the projected finish line.
I think what had happened is nobody ever thought that the hospital would have advanced in that speed. So what happened is they delayed giving much information, and when they had a visit at the end of last year, I think that is when they realized that things are happening and everybody started to move. But it is what it is. We are here and the hospital will be completed.
When questioned on whether St. Lucian's will have a hospital by the end of this year, this is what Gajada had to say.
You have a hospital building. I can give you the hospital building, but do you have a hospital? A hospital is a building with all the equipment and all the medical personnel to deal with patients. That's what a hospital is for me. So I am in charge of giving the building, which I will deliver. I will also give the equipment. The equipment will just be late, but it has all been ordered and it's all on its way. I expect to get the first 4 or 6 containers of the medical equipment alone around the 15th of October.
For Choice News Now, I am Chelsea Austin.
All right, thank you very much, Jaquan. I know you struggled with a bit of uncooperative internet and all of that and the Wi-Fi, but you managed to get us through it. Really appreciate that. There are a couple of messages that I got on WhatsApp. Let me just say, one of them says, it would be quite remiss of me if I didn't add my 2 cents to the plight of the vendors in respect of the caravans made available to them for $1,800 for a period of 3.5 years, 42 months. A total of $75,600. The optics doesn't look good. As a former guardian of the revenue of the state, I must confess, I don't have the landed cost of those caravans. In conclusion, this arrangement for the vendors doesn't look good financially, all right? He's a former customs officer who's expressing some reservations or misgivings about, the rates that are charged to the vendors. I don't really know whether this is applicable, but I just want to sound a little bit of advice the best I can. There is an attitude that we tend to have towards things that have to do with government and the state. For some reason, we seem to believe that whatever prices we have to pay for anything, whether it's affordable housing, whether it is healthcare, whatever, that we should either not pay anything or we should pay only token sums, what they call peppercorn prices. That's what we should be charged. Anything that has to do with government, we should not be charged. I remember there was that kind of noise when this car park facility was built. I mean, it's like people don't want to go inside there if for a whole day, 12 hours or whatever they're there, and they ask them to pay $10. It's too much, and the noise they were making about it, they should not, and then you realize they go to a private car park, they go to some private medical facility, They go to something else that is privately owned and they have to pay, and they will pay many times what the government or one of its agencies or statutory boards or arms of the state is going to charge them. We have a disdainful attitude when it comes to finances as long as they pertain to things governmental. I cannot tell you that $800 a month is fair and reasonable for the caravans and what they are and so on. I cannot tell you it is not. I just want to say we have to let go of this attitude that once something comes from government, it has to be something that is given away for next to nothing, if not for nothing. So we just have to watch that. Someone sent me a picture of a block of cheese. It seems they have purchased from Massey Stores, and the sale price on it for a little less than half a kilogram, 425.425 kilograms. So that is, if you consider 454 grams is a pound. This one is just slightly less than a pound, and it's for $13.88. If my calculations are right, 0.425 kilograms would to me be 425 grams. Like I said, a little less than the 454 grams that makes up a pound. And for $13.88, and the person says to me in a message, "Good night, sir. The same piece of cheese was $22 and change a few weeks ago. My government working." So I think all the steps that have been taken recently to zero rate several items, food items and so on, if that is what has brought it, that's a huge cut from $22 and something to $13.88. Let's just round it off and say $14. That's some good savings. That's some good reduction. That's some good ching, left in the pocket of people. Let me say this. Let me see if I can call Mr. Cyril Saltibus. Yeah, Cyril Saltibus. So he can give us a little updates on the preparations for Sunday's launching of Danny Butcher at Recreation Park in Vieux-Fort. Okay, so far not getting an answer. He's probably busy. He told me they did some site visits and so on. All right. Okay, so not getting Mr. Cyril Saltibus. I'm sure when he sees the missed call, he is going to call us back. I think we'll go into the next break, and then after that, we'll open the lines for calls and messages. Things have been a little not as smooth flowing as I thought they would be today, but again, that has to do with a little bit of technical glitches, but we've gotten that resolved since that time, so good. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go for the break, Jaquan, and then when we come back, we'll open the phone lines and we'll be looking at the messages as well.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The telephone lines are open for your calls now. The number to dial, you can WhatsApp call us on the mobile number, 758, the area code, of course, 487-9849, 487-9849. WhatsApp call us on that. And you can also call us on the landline, which is 4533-911. This Real Issues, of course, is our last Friday, I think, for the month of September. Our last weekend for the month of September, so we'll be together again on Monday, which is the 29th, as you know. By the time Tuesday rolls around, we are into the last day of the month already. So by the time Wednesday comes along, we're into October, Creole Heritage Month, among other observances. Fête la Marguerite on the 17th, and you know how it goes. We have a call on the line. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good day, Shelton.
Hi, good day to you.
All right. How you doing?
Doing great, my friend.
All right. Super away. All right. Shelton, that just taken me aback. When I actually listened to Shas, when Shas was reading the stuff, didn't he realize he was actually describing his own self when he was reading that story, that speech he took?
Yeah,
and he was talking about the lying thing. And I'm like, but who does that?
Yeah.
Yes, and then when Richard broke it down last night and he's talking about all the lies and all these things, and every time you say something, I mean, they can always go back and play it, and then you're saying that what you didn't say that and whatnot. I'm like, but
he's always looking for an opportunity to point the finger at somebody that he says is lying. Somebody's always lying for Chastney.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying to myself. I think that you got to I mean, because he does it all the time, so he believes like everybody does it. The Prime Minister is lying. This person is lying. That person is lying. Yeah. I mean, when the Chandra epi lista cafe guy epi chat de parler.
No, call them names before they call you. You know.
Yes. I think that's what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yes, and I like that to see the charitable work. Yeah, my partner doing the Rastaman Cherry and the people from up north, because I actually had something like that going on in the south.
Okay.
But eventually because of financial constraint, I had to stop. But yes, I really like that. I always like for charitable work and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very big on that. Yes.
Great stuff.
So, okay, Shelton. So
right.
hoping to see you on Sunday. Yeah, I'll be vending by the event.
All right, my friend. Okay.
All right then.
All right.
Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, right.
Good. Mm-hmm. I think we have another caller waiting. Yes, we have another caller on the
line.
I
wonder
Real issues?
If it was the UWP under any kind of quid pro quo that I perceive was there between the Shastney administration and the T.O. King. I wonder if it was the UWP who had opted to hold a rally there of the lady that was her name, okay? Whether they would have denied approach or sing a letter indicating perhaps the prohibition of the area because it's still under dispute. These things are very serious issues that St. Lucians in this voting season have to think deeply about, my brother. Right? Because while it's being portrayed that DHS was in the interest of the people and UWP administration working in the interest of the people, from all what we see coming that arose from these arrangements, that was not in the interest of the people. It was not, you know. So people have to think deeply as we go into the elections there with respect to these and other types of issues as far as the Chasney administration was concerned. And now it portrays itself as, oh, the best party. I heard on some of their things that is the best party in the whole Caribbean, working in the interest of the people. You don't work in the interest of the people if when you take a decision that was, I would say, rash, reckless, impacted on the lives of people negatively and making alien out of them in their own country. I said it before, I believe, if there's any one decision of the UWP that St. Lucians have to take into consideration to prevent the UWP from coming back into power in St. Lucia is that DHS issue. And it's very clear because of the letter that I heard was paraded and things. I hope I'm not being very paranoid, my friend. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome anytime. Okay, we continue getting the calls. Someone else is on the line. Hi, Real Issues, you're on the air.
Good
Hello?
afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay. Ordinarily, I hear a little. Okay, now I'm hearing myself. So, Shelton, DHS is a reputable company in this country.
DHS or DSH?
No. DHS is a reputable shipping agency or something of that sort.
Okay.
DSH is what was introduced to us, is what has beaten us. It will continue to beat us, but I am really very heartened that this government has seen it fit to cancel the business operation license or whatever terminology ascribed to what was done. I am heartened. Now, Shelton, the United Workers' Party forgot what they did to us. Can you imagine Bradley calling Newspin yesterday, forgetting that he was an integral part of what we are facing now? And he's trying to make himself out to be a matter that we, or your fellas, you Shelton, and Terry, the former principal, y'all are maligning his name. He didn't use those words, but he does not know anything about what y'all are talking about. But let me tell you, we have not benefited one thing from that deal. You see, today, let me not focus on this because we would need to give this some serious attention. As we function with nobody else, we need to give this some serious attention. But this weekend, today, starts the process of Operation Pese Vote. Let me say it in patois. L'opération Pese Vote a commencé week-end ça là. Moi vle informer tout janvier pour. Motoket la ka commencé do kamel pour yone et nou ka ale Oliwo constituency pour nous vive pour nous ay présenter by Saint-Lucie candidat nous Mr. Doctor Sir, did I say doctor? Soon to be doctor, Sir Danny Butcher. He is and has been the born and bred Viewforton from since Eldred Stevens, and we are really very proud of him, and we're looking forward to Sunday. Shelton, Nukaiwe, Bye-bye.
If you can get in touch with Cyril Saltibus, tell him I've been trying to call him,
I
please.
find it odd that he didn't answer his phone or he has not called you back, but I will most definitely do that. Meanwhile, Miguel not telling you his father's birthday is tomorrow and Michael Gasper's birthday is on Sunday. Bye-bye, then.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So we got a little bit of a message from one of our friends, and it says Yellow's Bar presents a 3-hand domino competition on Saturday, September 27th at Cooleytown from 8 p.m. until. Ready to play? Ready to win? See you at the table. Registration $30. What's in it for you? First prize $500. Second prize $300. Third prize $200. 1 round knockout re-enter fee $30 only once. There will be lots to eat and drink on sale. All right, that's from Yellow's Bar presenting a 3-hand domino competition tomorrow, Saturday, September 27th. We're getting another call, I think. Let's take it straight away. Real Issues, you're on the air. So we're not sure. We're due for our final break, aren't we? All right, or have we taken it? I'm a little confused because of the unscheduled thing and so on. What? Huh? You see how the unscheduled break that we took. All right, let's take that call. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, Sheldon.
Hey.
Chasney break the law by giving Teoaking that land. And I want Teoaking to forget about the land and give us our land back, please. Chasney, if Teoaking, you give him our land, you will have to give us some of your properties, whatever property that you have. Okay? And Chasney, you degraded St. Lucia. You make St. Lucia, you make Helen look like a stripper. And I want to know how long you will continue to drag Helen all around the place like that. So, we want our land and we're going to stand up for that land in Vieux-Fort. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that. 4879849, you can WhatsApp call us on that number, and you can also reach us on the landline, which is 4533911. All right, we're taking your calls going until 2 o'clock. Do we have anyone on the line right now? Okay, so we shall soon be back with the phone line. Someone has sent me a short video clip saying that site preparation is ongoing and the venue taking shape. And another one says they just met with the police in Vieux-Fort to discuss traffic management and other logistical arrangements. Everything is going as planned and expected. Somebody answer me the question. Is there any possibility that Alan Chasney, Teoaking, or whoever else wants to do mischief can come up with some kind of injunction, late in the afternoon, something at 4 o'clock, some injunction or restraining order saying that you can't hold the thing, some expat. Can that happen? In law, anybody knows the law to know that they can go to some judge or whatever and get an injunction in the afternoon when you cannot go and contest it when, the courts, whatever, will be closed until Monday and so on. Can that happen? Is that one of the tricks that they can try to pull? Anyway, we have a call on the line. Real Issues.
Can that happen? In law, anybody?
Yeah, I heard myself already. So you're on the telephone. Talk to us now.
Hello.
Yeah, I heard myself. Turn off.
Let me tell you, Sheldon.
Yeah, listen to me before you go on. You seem to have a television or radio or something that you are listening to us on. Make sure you turn it down before you start talking to us.
It's far from me.
All right. You hear that? I'm hearing myself still.
From me where it is there. Yes, I cannot walk far. I go walk far.
No, well, move away from it. Do something because the feedback will put me off.
Yeah.
All right. Try again some other time. We really can't. Yeah, we really can't take the call now. All right. Somebody says to me, stop giving them advice. Sorry about that. And I'm not sorry. We have to look at things from different angles and so on. I'm told that Mr. Saltibus is currently at a meeting. People tell me that all the time, that I'm putting ideas in the UWP's minds and all of that. I also think we need to learn to think ahead of them. We need to learn to preempt them. We need to learn to think of the different angles and the permutations and the combinations of things that they can do. Don't let them outthink us. We have to outthink them by thinking ahead of it, These people will stop at nothing. They are desperate. So you got to learn to, like a good cop, think like a crook. Think the things that they will come up with so that you can preempt and forestall it. Anyway, we have another call on the line. Real Issues. Hello?
What the fuck?
Oh. All right. Who knows? Maybe that's the person we had to cut off. Let's come back vexed this time and so on. All right. Let me see this. All right. So maybe Mr. Saltibus is going to call us sometime. But we're taking your calls going until 2 o'clock. Don't forget that. It's our last program for the week. It's our last Friday for the month of September. So let's make the most and the best of it. 487-9849. That's the number on which you can WhatsApp call us. And also the landline 4533-911. Real Issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. I have a problem. Hello, I have a problem. And the problem I have is a dog, a shepherd dog. A shepherd dog that's coming at my home. And then I have been trying to locate. So I'm trying to locate the owner. The dog is a shepherd dog. I try to run behind the dog, but the dog is in my home. The dog wants to stay. So the dog now I will leave my number to tell the owner because my number is 713-7376 to come and collect the dog. I want Shelton to pass that message for me, please.
Okay, so there's a dog. It says a shepherd. I don't know shepherd and German shepherd if they are the same.
A shepherd dog.
Okay,
now the dog all over the place.
The dog is coming inside your house.
A German shepherd dog.
Yeah, you said
it's a dog about 1 year old.
Why is it coming inside your house? Is it coming for food?
Well, but the dog hungry. The dog is in a mess. The dog wants someone to take care of because the dog. It looked like the dog have been on the way for a long time. The dog, I don't know where it comes from. So I'm passing that message to anyone that missing a dog, a shepherd dog.
So where do you live? Where do you live, my friend? Kodoka Westi. The
dog, please.
Oh boy. Where do you live, my friend? All right. You see that's the thing.
I am living Sissewa by the Baptist Church.
Okay. And there's nobody in the neighborhood who can help you, who can chase the dog away.
I asked people around. Nobody knows who's the owner, where the dog comes from.
Okay. So what else? Is there anything you can do to prevent the dog from coming into your home?
Well, the dog all over the place, coming in everybody home, and going there. So the dog have to take the owner have to come and look for the dog. Just call me on that number and come and collect the dog.
Which number? We don't know your number.
My number is 713-7376.
All right, I think everybody heard it. I don't know if I need to take that down, but
just pass that message for me, please.
All right, sir. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
In all my days hosting Real Issues, this is the first time I've received, a communication like that and so on. You'd think that, a dog stray, it seems like. But I had a problem like that in the neighborhood where I live, where there was a dog that seemed to be the only dog in the neighborhood that was doing that, come in and poke its head into the drain holes of a garbage bin and trying to pull at the bags and bursting them and, really messing up the place. Until it was found out that the dog belongs to someone who was not feeding it. They had the dog, nice looking dog, friendly dog. We see it wag its tail for you and all of that, not acting aggressive. But they were not feeding the dog. And eventually someone realized that and agreed to take the dog and to adopt it or whatever it was. And the problem ended. And no other dog in the area has ever done that, even after the dog left and so on. And why do people have dogs? I'm told the individual had the dog and was only giving the dog rice, just boiling rice by itself. And, the dog will eat that a couple of times. And after that, just rice, nothing else, just plain Dewey Blanc, and so on. And it was the kind of dog like you call a breed dog, the kind of a shepherd kind of looking. It's not a mongrel looking dog, but they were just not taking care of it. Now, you never know what can result in that. Anyway, Some people are wicked. They'll decide to do some harm to the dog or something of that kind. But there was a kind soul who came forward and agreed to take the dog and adopt it because they realized what the problem was. Real issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead. Real issues.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Sheldon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yeah. Tell Brady, read to the people of St. Lucia the jackass move that he made. Let the people know. 10-2 of the contract that he sent. If it's not a blind person that will sign that in a contract. 10-2. Okay? Because you're gonna sign something that if the government, if what you do is in 2 years, you don't finish it, the government have to pay. You have to summon the government 90 days for the government to pay you what you spent. Tell him read that thing, and plus the escrow account. That is a dummy man, a man who work at the bank.
Yeah, well, when you consider what Alan Chastney put as a condition for being, in his party and so on, you have to realize maybe Bradley was doing exactly what Alan Chastney says you must do: submit.
Exactly.
Submit to him.
What actually happened?
Yeah.
These fellas never look what is when they look what he had. What was in nothing. They had 1 week with it at Coconut Bay, and there was nothing that they would have done for it again. Tell the people of St. Lucia that. Now, the other thing, don't bother what this fellow is saying. All you have to do is do what we're supposed to do. Now, you will take the number that I call you and call me when you are through, and I will tell you how people lose an election.
Okay, my friend.
Okay?
Okay, my friend. Thank you.
You see the number?
Yeah, I think we can see it on the screen. Jaquan, you can see that number?
That's correct. And then call me, and I'll tell you how people lose an election.
All right. Okay, my friend. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Take it.
I tell you, I'm getting some calls today that are a bit, that are a bit, outside what I would consider to be the normal or the usual that I'm getting, All right, we continue taking your calls until 2 o'clock, folks. We don't have much time left. 487-9849 and 4533911. And let me see. I have some messages there that I have to look at. Let's look at this. Yeah, good afternoon to you, Empress Bobo who says, advance Earth Strong to my loving Miss Davisa Charles of Fontbenier in Soufre, celebrating her Earth Strong on Saturday, coming from your auntie Empress Bobo with love. Another one, she says, greeting Shelton, give thanks for life. Can you say this greeting for Empress Bobo, please? Jar Guide, I just did. Hope you're okay, Empress Bobo, and looking forward to having a nice weekend. We have another caller on the line. Hello, Real Issues.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I just want to ask a question.
Yeah, speak up a bit. Speak. Hello. Speak up a bit. Your voice sounding a little distant.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, better, yeah.
Yeah, after listening to Tommy Descat, breaking down how they will get the money, pay the money for the 6,000, the 1224, all of those things. But he never did say how and where the money was coming from. But he did not say, and I know he's supposed to be an economist, but then you had the economist said he know where the money is going to be coming from. That is from GPH. But I thought they said that if GPH, they do come in, they would stop GPH. So GPH has already started extensive work. Can those people do that? Because when I heard him said where the money was coming from, the money would be coming from GPH. My first assumption was that maybe GPH meant Guy personal holdings. Maybe that's how the college would be sponsored. But then I hear him saying they're going to get from GPH because they are going to renegotiate. Can this happen?
Yeah, well, anything can happen. Let me just tell you that DSH, not GPH, they came and they were checking the Labour Party for whatever it is they wanted to do down south. The Labour Party was in office and they were trying to get the Labour Party interested in their proposal. And in fact, it doesn't sound like what Alan Chastney said, that he approached T.O.R. King and he asked T.O.R. King to do this and that, and T.O. said, what is it you want, Alan? What is it you want us to do? That may not be how it happened. I'm not going to go all out and say he's lying.
Yes.
But T.O.R. King tried to get the then Labour government under Dr. Kenny Anthony interested in whatever he had planned to do. It's Alan, when he came in, who could not wait to embrace it and could not wait to, give them whatever they wanted, hook, line, and sinker, 1,000 acres of land, this, that, and the other, and so on, who I suppose wanted to show how instantly successful and a hit that he was with attracting foreign direct investment. So likewise, I'm just saying, he might be criticizing GPH and the government sold the harbor and they sold the this and that to GPH for nothing, for $1, for all those kind of things they always come up with. But somehow it's always UWP that gets into deals with investors, whether we're talking about down at Angers, whether we're talking at Black Bay, whether we're talking at what's the name, Fondor, they're always making a mess with things, and then they end up, the development does not go forward, we get sued, and then it's a Labour government that has to come and settle for millions of dollars so that our land does not end up getting tied up in foreign hands. So he might say all he's saying about GPH, and then he will come in, and then he'll see an opportunity to make himself look great, or at least great again in his mind, according to Trump. And then he might end up giving away everything that GPH themselves never contemplated, and certainly St. Lucia would never, in any kind of sane custody of governance, ever do. Alan Chastney might end up giving away everything, just to make himself look that he's better than Philip J.P. It was always showing that he can do better than Kenny Anthony, better than Philip J.P. Alan Chastney might end up making a mess that all the things they quarreling about, he might end up selling the harbor, he might end up selling the surrounding lands, he might even end up telling GPH that the water in the harbor, he's selling it to them, or he's giving it to them, whatever it is, water. He might end up doing that. Don't put anything past Alan Chastney if we give him a chance.
And my final question is, yes, usually at the end, any murder case where the police are, the police don't really comment. Usually it's the family and all of the things that are commented. The police will give you a small detail.
Which murder case are you talking about?
The case at the canals where they got the three people dead.
I don't know, they say canal, but I suspect somebody was confusing canal with VJ, but but go ahead, it doesn't matter.
But then I was listening, and I heard this man, because I'm not able to see, but I heard this man talking and describing the place. He's saying it's a dead end and all sorts of things, and that if he was to commit a crime, this is exactly where he would use to do, because it's a place where nobody is, so secluded. Only to find that is Kakal, an ex-policeman, that is saying something like that. Isn't that giving criminals ideas? Because there you explain where the place is, what can happen. It's a place that if somebody wants to commit a crime, that's where to go, because there's no, and I was rather surprised. Because a person might even comment to me, but come on, isn't the man giving people ideas? You're an ex-police officer, and you're saying that. Why you have to give people ideas as to where? And he was the only person that was the interview.
And I believe Canel and Vigé, these areas are part of the constituency that Kakal is looking to win.
Then why he was the first on the scene there?
They are part of Beaufort North.
Yeah, I know but he was first on the scene to give all the description and saying about her. And he said if I was to commit a crime, that's a place, because it's so secluded, there's a dead end and all sorts of things.
All right. I guess in time, maybe if he has to explain, he'll explain. Somebody sent a message here. Thank you very much, caller. Okay. Thanks. Say, advertisement that appears on DBS about a lost German Shepherd dog from Cap Estate. I just heard your caller, and I believe it is the same dog. The ad has a number attached, so DBS might be able to help. All right. So, someone just talking about a dog at Cicerone that's hovering around people's premises and yard and coming to the house and looks because it's hungry. It looks like a German Shepherd. And this very alert listener, thank you very much once again, says that, they are aware of an ad being aired on another medium, namely DBS, about a German Shepherd dog from Cap Estate being lost. And it's possible that it's the same dog. So the DBS ad has a number. You just have to try to find it. Another person said, please ask Dr. Natural to call me. Who's Dr. Natural? If you know or you recognize the voice of somebody, Maybe it's the person who was trying to tell us something, but we kept getting that feedback and so on, and so we had to go. I don't know the person, so I don't know if it's Dr. Natural. So maybe, Jaquan, you must have taken that number. We have to go now, folks. The lotto is coming in. Thank you very much. Real Issues for today and for the week, powered by Blue Waters. Shelton Daniel signing.
5, 14, 17, 21. Big 4, 8, 3, 1, 1. Big 4 multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 0, 5. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. 1 off, 169. Lucky 3, 980. Lucky 3 multi-X, FB.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.